issue you have. Write it on the index card. Write it on the index card, and when you're done, you can turn it face down, pass it to the end of your aisle, and someone will pick it up. Thank you so much for being here. We are, as you know, the community organization who've come together with our residents and businesses in mind. And without holding up things with a lot of conversation, I'm going to move right to our agenda.
Thank you very much. Before I answer the questions, let me first say thank you to all of you for being here. Pittsburgh politics is kind of strange. It normally sends signals. If you have all the money, if you get the Democratic endorsement, if you get the endorsements of all the major unions, it's a done deal, it's over, no need to go out, no need for debates. And so they weren't able to fool you. So I am glad that at least we're here talking about the future of the district. I also wanted to add in my introduction, I was born here in the Hill District, born in Albert Square. We then moved to Brently Drive, and then like hundreds of families in this community, we then moved to Northview Heights where I was raised. I am one of 9 children to my mother, my father, and we had a lot of experience in terms of the important things that we should be involved with and the important things that we should be active on. Why am I running, and why should you support me? I have the most experience actually in the seat doing the work. It's on a volunteer basis. It's in the Pittsburgh School Board, but it's still the same thing. The only difference is we're volunteers. There is no salary. Our budget is much larger than the city of Pittsburgh's budget, and we have quite a few employees that we manage. As a school board district, one of the things we do as a policymaker, we set policy, evaluate policy, and we create policy. What's interesting for my candidacy and why I should be the next city council person is, number one, I am a great listener. Number two, when you call, I respond. For instance, this meeting here this evening. It doesn't matter when or where you call. If there's an opportunity to listen, to learn, and to grow, I'm always available. The other reason why I'm running, and it gets a little sticky, is that for the last 3 years, we've witnessed a somewhat of a nasty personal battle taking place on the pages of our local newspaper with our incumbent and the former city council person. We want to get past that. We've got to get past that. And my candidacy hopefully will be a signal that it is time to move on. The Honorable Councilman Salodine made great progress in this community, and I hope to add on to that and to continue moving forward. Councilwoman Payne has made some great contributions. I hope to add on to that, and we should accept that and then move on. But to continue to see the bickering in the paper, we're walking past and we're ignoring some missed opportunities. My final point on why I am running is that I believe through our leadership our lack of leadership of our incumbent, Mrs. Payne, is that we did not take advantage of 3 very important things right here in this community. There's the development of the new Penguin Stadium. There's the Census 2010 who set up shop downtown, and then we have the casinos. As an elected official, it's not your job, it should have been your duty to be intimately involved with those opportunities for contracts, to provide services, as well as providing information on employment opportunities. Most of the crime that exists in this community is based on the fact that people don't have jobs and you don't have an income, and it's difficult to raise a family when you don't have income. We could have not solved the whole problem, but we could have knocked a dent in that had we had a councilwoman who has met with all 3 of those entities and said, look, I am the elected official, you have job openings, I have the people. You channel your openings through me. I will set up a clearinghouse for District 6 and we will put people to work. She didn't do that. She was bickering with the former council person, and we lost that opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Brentley. I'm going to interrupt you so that we can move on and have Mr. Lavelle introduce himself. Mr. Lavelle.
Thank you, and thank you for allowing me to be here with you this evening. My name is Robert Dane Lavelle, and I'm running for Pittsburgh City Council District 6, and I do ask for your support and your vote on May 19th. I decided to get into this race because my grandfather always taught me that whenever you see a problem and you recognize that problem, you have a responsibility to use your talents to the best of your ability to help them fix that problem. And District 6 has many problems, not the least of which is insufficient leadership on City Council. Over the last 3 years, this City Council district has gone backwards in terms of governmental resources that have come back into this district. Over the last 3 years, we've had many issues, some of which Mr. Brently pointed out, such as unemployment, such as poverty rates, such as lack of strong business districts, such as lack of support for minority and women-owned businesses, and many other issues, including high dropout rates for our children in our school systems. Our City Council person did not introduce one meaningful piece of legislation to address any of these issues, and that's unacceptable in my eyes. Specifically, to address your specific questions, my assets. I've worked within this community for the last 7 years. I returned to Pittsburgh in 2001 and began working as a legislative aide for former City Councilman Saluddin, where I got a lot of experience and a lot of tremendous knowledge working in City Council for 3 years, learning that process, knowing how legislation takes place. I then went to work for an organization called Americans for Democratic Action, where I did a lot of the work that you are in this room are trying to do now. We did grassroots organizing, we put together community plans just like your envisioning process that you're going through now, and we worked to hold elected officials accountable to the needs of this community. After working for ADA, I then became Chief of Staff for State Representative Jake Brently, and I've served in his office for the last 2 years. And I have an intimate knowledge of how the city interacts with the state, how the federal dollars come through the state and into the city and directly impacts our lives. So I have that experience on all aspects of what it takes to govern. Those would be clear assets that I have. In addition, having worked within the community, I've worked with many community groups, I've worked with individuals within this room here today. And I also have understanding of real estate. I have a real estate background. I currently serve as a real estate agent for Lavelle Real Estate. And so I also have a knowledge about real estate and what it's going to take to bring this community back together and to once again really have it on the rise. Your second question was why I vote for me. You can vote for me because I have a proven track record of being able to do the job. I have a proven track record for being able to work with individuals, not be divisive and try to divide our community on political battles. I have that record of being able to pull all individuals together to have disagreements without being disagreeable. And I have that record, and I'm able to do that work. And if you vote for me, I can promise you that I will be a very active and engaged City Council person on your behalf. I will not sit in the back and wait for you to bring me the issues. I will not sit and wait for things that happen around me and then try to jump in front of the train. I'm going to be very active, lobbying on your behalf, legislating on your behalf, and being very engaged with you as a community. I believe those other two questions answer what I bring to the table. So with that, I will simply, again, ask for your support and ask for your vote on May 9th.